So the next of our very honored guests today is from the Chinese Embassy. We have with us Minister Zhao Fei, a strong friend of our party, and also Comrade Hu Bo. We are, as ever, very grateful for our relationship with China, with People's China, and with the Communist Party of China. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dear Comrade Bra, comrades and friends, good evening. It is my great pleasure to once again attend this October Revolution anniversary celebration. First, I would like to extend my sincere greetings to comrades of the Communist Party of Britain, Marxist-Leninists, and to all friends here today. Today, we celebrate the 108th anniversary of the October Revolution, the first successful proletarian socialist revolution. It overthrew the bourgeois rule in Russia, established the dictatorship of the proletariat, transformed the old relations of production and economic base, and turned socialism from a scientific theory into a real socialist system, thus opening a new epoch in human history. The victory of the October Revolution pointed the way for the liberation of oppressed nations around the world. Including China, and led to the founding of the Communist Party of China. Over more than a century, the Communist Party of China has rallied the Chinese people to achieve great transformation from standing up and growing prosperous to becoming strong. Since entering the new era, the CPC has continued to lead our people in carrying out the Great Social Revolution. We have attained the first centenary goal of building a moderately prosperous society in all dimensions, and are striving towards the second centenary goal of building a great modern socialist country in all respects. We will soon complete the 14th five-year plan, which marks the first five-year period since our march towards the second centenary goal began. In these 5 years, the world has been undergoing accelerated transformation unseen in a century, and the international landscape is fraught with changes and turbulence, which led to a momentous and extraordinary period in China's development. In the face of complex circumstances, we remain undaunted and have forged ahead with determination and achieved pioneering progress, breakthrough transformation, and historic accomplishments in our economic and social development. China is advancing steadily on the path to prosperity. During the 14th five-year plan period, we adhered to the general principle of pursuing progress while ensuring stability, focusing on promoting high-quality development, and intensified efforts to advance reform and explore new ground, which brought about an enormous growth in China's economic strength. In the past 5 years, China's GDP crossed milestones of 110 trillion, 120 trillion, 130 trillion yuan successively. This year, China's economy is projected to top around 140 trillion yuan. So, in these 5 years, China's economy will grow by about 4 trillion pounds. Over the past 5 years, China's average annual contribution to the world economic growth has maintained around 30%, serving as an important anchor of stability for the global economy. The new growth drivers and new strengths for development are being fostered. In 2024, the added value of new industries, new business formats, and new business models, dubbed the New Three Economy, accounted for 18% of the country's GDP. In 2025, China rose to the 10th place in the Global Innovation Index for the first time. With abundant achievements in cutting-edge fields such as artificial intelligence, quantum communications, and high-end chips, China is moving rapidly from a global manufacturing center towards a global innovation center. China's green transition is advancing at an unprecedented pace. During the 14th five-year plan period, we prioritized ecological protection and accelerated the transition to a model of green development, promoting harmony between humanity and nature. We have built the world's largest and fastest growing renewable energy system. The installed capacity of renewable energy power generation now accounts for around 60% of our energy mix. And 1 out of every 3 kilowatt hours of electricity consumed comes from green sources. Our green industries are thriving. In 2024, the production of new energy vehicles was already more than 8 times that of 2020. And exports of electric vehicles, lithium-ion batteries, and photovoltaic products grew 2.6 times compared with 2020. The environment has continued to improve. Our public satisfaction with the environment has exceeded 90% for 4 consecutive years. The percentage of days with good air quality in cities at and above the prefecture level has remained stable at around 87%. China has led the world in greening the planet, contributing around 1/4 of the newly added green areas in the world. The Chinese people's sense of fulfillment, happiness, and security has continued to increase. During the 14th five-year plan period, we continue to apply the people-centered development philosophy. The goal of our modernization drive is to meet the people's aspirations for a better life. In 2024, China's per capita disposable income increased to 41,000 yuan from 2020's 32,000 yuan, representing an average annual growth of 5.5%. The quality of life for residents continued to improve, and the number of cars owned per 100 households increased from 37.1 to 51.2. China has established the world's largest social security system, with coverage rates for basic pension and basic medical insurance both exceeding 95%. People's spiritual and cultural life has become more vibrant. By the end of 2024, the number of registered museums nationwide reached 7,046, an increase of 21.7% over the end of 2020. The total area of sports facilities nationwide has surpassed 4 billion square meters. Not long ago, the 4th plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee was successfully held, which adopted the recommendations of the CPC Central Committee for formulating the 15th five-year plan for economic and social development. This document is a top-level design for China's development over the next 5 years and made major strategic arrangements in 12 areas. China will work to build a modernized industrial system, achieve greater self-reliance and strength in science and technology, build a robust domestic market, and move faster to develop a high-standard socialist market economy. Efforts will be aimed at promoting high-standard opening up, accelerating agricultural and rural modernization, refining regional economic layout, inspiring the cultural creativity of the entire nation, and improving public well-being. In this period, the country will also accelerate the green transition in all areas of economic and social development, improve the system and capacity of national security, and modernize national defense and the armed forces. As these important strategic arrangements are gradually implemented, China's social vitality and development momentum will be further unleashed, injecting more certainty and positive energy into the world, and providing important opportunities for cooperation with countries including the UK. Comrades and friends, everything China does is for the purpose of providing a better life for our people, all the while creating more development opportunities for the entire world. We have no intention to replace or defeat anyone. The world today has entered a new period of turbulence and transformation. Unilateralism, protectionism, and hegemonism are on the rise, and deficits in peace, development, security, and trust are intensifying. Therefore, President Xi Jinping put forward the vision of building a community with a shared future for humanity. Following that, President Xi has successfully proposed the Belt and Road Initiative, the Global Development, Security, and Civilization Initiative, and recently, the Global Governance Initiative, GGI, offering Chinese solutions to the challenges and questions presented by the times. GGI emphasized 5 major principles: sovereign equality, international rule of law, multilateralism, people-centered approach, and real results. It is a systematic solution to reforming and improving global governance. Sovereign equality is the primary prerequisite. Countries, regardless of their size, strength, or wealth, enjoy equal rights to participate in international affairs. International rule of law is the fundamental safeguard. It is essential to abide by the purposes and principles of the UN Charter and the universally recognized basic norms governing international relations, and oppose the imposition of one's will on others. Multilateralism is the basic pathway. The approach of extensive consultation and joint contribution for shared benefits must be taken. Unilateralism and hegemonism must be opposed. A people-centered approach is the underlying value. Reforms to global governance should enhance the sense of fulfillment, security, and happiness for people in all countries. Seeking real results is an important principle. The focus must be on finding sustainable solutions to the most pressing issues, especially those facing developing countries. It calls on developed countries to earnestly fulfill their responsibilities and developing countries to seek strength through unity. This initiative reflects the trend of our times and aspirations of the overwhelming majority of countries. More than 140 countries and international organizations have expressed their welcome and support for it. Comrades and friends, the reason why the CPC has been able to lead the Chinese people to achieve a series of major accomplishments in pursuit of Chinese modernization and continue China's solution to building a better world is that the party is committed to guiding social transformation with self-reform. This enables the party to continually cleanse, improve, renew, and temper itself, ensuring that the party continues to exercise strong leadership in building socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era. The century-long struggle of the Communist Party of China is not only a history of social revolution, but also a history of self-reform. From the August 7th meeting to Zhunyi Conference, from the Yan'an Rectification Movement to the third plenary session of the 11th CPC Central Committee, our party has always forged ahead with the spirit of self-reform. Since our 18th National Congress, the CPC Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, has advanced the party's self-reform through full and rigorous party self-governance. we have steadfastly implemented the Central Party leadership's 8-point decision on conduct, deepened the fight against corruption, and with the persistence to keep hammering away, the CPC Central Committee has made consistent efforts to tackle pointless formalities, bureaucratism, hedonism, and extravagance. The party has found a second answer to the question of how to escape the historical cycle of rise and fall, namely using our transformation to steer great social transformation, which pointed the way for us on our new great journey. Comrades and friends, Friedrich Engels once pointed out, a party which knows its objectives and how to achieve them, which truly strives to attain them and possesses the indomitable spirit essential for doing so, such a party is invincible. On the new journey, the Communist Party of China will remain unwavering in upholding communism and socialism, and stay committed to advancing Chinese modernization. We work tirelessly with comrades and friends from around the world to strive for the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation and promote world peace and development. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you, Comrade. And the incredible achievements of China, as with Cuba, as with the Soviet Union before it, as I said earlier, are hugely inspirational to us and very important for the world. What really stood out to me listening to your speech, Comrade, was your drawing our attention to the incredible advancements technologically that China's making. And what that means for the world is immeasurable. In fact, this is the continuation of a process that was begun in October 1917. The reality is imperialism has been possible because the industrialized Western European nations had a huge technological advantage over the rest of the world, and they used that to enslave the planet. They were able, because their technology was so much further ahead, that meant their weapons were so much further ahead, and nobody could face up to them. Doesn't matter how brave you are. If you have a spear and the person coming towards you has a machine gun, this is not a fight you're going to win. Doesn't matter how spirited you are. It doesn't matter how just you are. And this was what seemed to be the inevitability of the ability of the imperialists to rule the world, to colonize everywhere they went, to enslave the world's people and loot the world's resources. The October Revolution was the beginning of reversing this process. It's not an accident that the world's first socialist planned economy was the first country, non-imperialist country, to rival and then overtake Western countries in terms of technological ability and capability and superiority. We all know the shock waves that went round the world and through the American establishment in particular when the Soviet Union launched the Sputnik satellite into space. This is a triumph of the planned economy, of the unleashing of the potential of human capabilities, which a capitalist economy squanders. So much wasted human potential in a capitalist economy. So many unemployed, uneducated people whose talents and abilities are unharnessed. The Soviet Union proved what Marx and Engels had worked out in theory, put it into practice and showed us how quickly humanity is capable of advancing if it's allowed to do so, if the right economic conditions are put into place. So despite the reverses of our movement, temporary reverses, what we're seeing in China today is what has the imperialists absolutely terrified is the fact that technologically they're catching up with and in important fields beginning to overtake the most advanced imperialist powers, and they're doing it rapidly. And of course, what scares the imperialists, the imperialists are scared on two fronts. One, of course, is a business front. When they monopolize all the most important technologies, they can exact tribute from the world to let them use them. I remember one of the reasons why Gaddafi's Libya was overthrown was after it had provided a satellite, a communication satellite for Africa, and deprived Europe of the tribute it was getting for the rent, forcing every African country to pay a tribute to Europe for being allowed to access telecommunications via European satellites. And that was unforgivable. He had many other plans along the same direction, and he couldn't be allowed to continue that way. Of course, the great thing about technology in the hands of the world's non-imperialist countries is that they share those technologies. One of the fantastic things to see about China's development is how it's helping other countries to develop and bypass the imperialist stranglehold. And of course, the other problem that non-imperialist countries with advanced technology poses to the West, to the imperialist countries, is that it takes away their military domination. And without their ability, so they may still be sitting on huge piles of capital, and that brings huge power with it. But we know that the dominance of finance capital has always been backed up by the dominance of imperialist weaponry. And if imperialist weaponry is no longer able to dominate the globe, it won't be long before imperialist finance capital is also no longer able to dominate the globe. So we truly appreciate the huge advances being made by China, even Cuba is being able to outdo America in certain key sectors because of socialist planning. Of course, Cuba is strangled from being able to export and share its technologies with the rest of the world. Otherwise, British people could also benefit from some of the medical breakthroughs that Cuban biotechnology has made. Huge breakthroughs that could be shared with us, but are not because of the blockade and the strangling effect of the blockade on Cuba and what that does to Cuba's ability to share with the rest of the world. But China, of course, can't be strangled the way that Cuba can be strangled. China is much bigger. They can try, but they are failing. And when they try, their efforts backfire. And they end up strangling themselves rather than strangling China. And what China and Russia have both found is the world is a big place, and there are many other directions in which you can trade and share your technology and build your alliances. If the West decides to exclude you, the West is ending up putting itself in a corner rather than putting pressure on everybody around it in the way that it thought it could do.